Word.
Welcome to the Word on the Street podcast. It is September 16th, the year 2014, AC after Chael. God bless him. Hope he's doing well out there. But I am coming to you live here. This is the Word on the Street, people. Latest MMA news, rumors, wild and ridiculous speculation, shenanigans, people. With me, as always, co-hosting and producing the whole damn show is my man from the MMA podcast, Jake. Jake, what do you hear? What do you say, son?
Not too much, man. I'm doing well. I forgot to queue up a Stone Cold Steve Austin clip, but nevertheless, follow us on Twitter at the MMA Podcast. It's been a hectic day, but I'm sitting back, having a beer for the working man, doing well, Ramses.
Bless you, child. I can't even intro this man anymore. He is the living legend, team son and coach, MMA coach, boxing coach, friend, family, producer, co-host, co-founder, Coach Jamie, the living legend Huey, is on with us. How are you doing, Coach?
Outstanding, guys. How are you? I'm reporting live and direct from the beautiful city of no. What's the name of this place? Tunopa, Nevada.
Tunopa, right?
Tunopa, Nevada.
Yeah,
it's like this place is crazy. It's like I was up in Portland for 2 weeks, doing some gangster stuff, and so I'm just coming back from Portland, and we're gonna stop in this little town. It's kind of like a little mining town out here, or it used to be a mining town, but it's like such an old mining town that it's still cool to kind of dress like an old miner. That's kind of weird, man. But so that's where I'm at.
An old prospecting town, dude. Prospectors are awesome, dude. They have like their special pots. Like you have to have like 3 or 5 different pots and like overalls.
Dude, I tell you what, if these guys had a hard hat, a flashlight, and a metal tin, you would swear they just got beamed here from the past. But other than that, they're dressed like old miners here, and it's not even like a shtick or anything. I mean, I don't know. The guy in the elevator, I kind of had to do a second look. I'm like, this guy for real? Or is this guy like
for real?
Hotel, and this is like part of his gig or what?
Man, you should look for some gold, man. Like it is an actual gold rush. Like when you find it, I'm told, like when even if it's like a little flex, it keeps you going. It's like gambling almost to these people.
Yeah, and this I can't remember the name of the hotel we're staying in, but it's a real old hotel. So they fix it up. It's all kind of supposed to look like it's old, but it's cleaned up and everything. But there's actually a historic hotel not far from here called the Goldfield, I think, and it's where they do a bunch of ghost hunter TV shows. So it's supposed to be haunted, and they got ghosts running around.
Hell yeah, man!
Doing ghost stuff.
You should get up to some of that if you have time. Just like uncover like the little town's mysteries and whatnot. I've always wanted to do that, man. Just turn the whole.
You don't have a lot of time, Jamie. You should go right now and get it done with, and go do some research on this town, all the ghosts right now.
Hell yeah! The voice you hear is the guest of honor tonight. He is returning on the show for the second time. He is fighting under the Bellator organization once more. He is Keith, the KO Kid Barry. Keith, thanks for coming on again, man. How are you doing?
No, thanks for having me, guys. I'm doing great. I had a good day of training today. I'm happy to be back in Vegas here training for this upcoming fight, and I feel great. So I've been doing a lot of road work and a lot of good soul searching, so I feel a little tuned up and revitalized and ready to go.
Yeah, well, let's talk about it, man. Let's get into it. We talked to you back in May of this year, and let's see what's changed. You did mention that you do have a fight coming up. We'll get to that in a second. But your training, are you still fighting out of Extreme Couture? Or are you training at Reign again? What's happening for this fight?
No, I was back in Southern California for the last month or two. So, but Extreme Couture, it's my home gym. I love all the guys over there. I love the training, and I've really had real good camaraderie with all those guys, and it's not going to go away. So I'm going to really stay there. I just went back home I had my real estate license back there, so I was doing some real estate stuff and trying to, further my future. When fighting does end, I want to do something else, and that's what I was trying to do down there. And so I got some stuff done and things I needed to get handled, and now I'm back. So now I'm back to train and get back to business, and I feel good. I did all my technical type stuff with wrestling, jiu-jitsu, and boxing back home, and just worked on some things I knew I needed to work on without the pressure of a fight. It's a little different, just kind of training to get better and doing things just that you need to do. But sometimes it's hard during fight camp. You just want to go, and everyone's just 2 days, and you want to get this in. It's all about the quantity versus the quality. I had a lot more quality workouts when I went back home, and I got a lot of stuff taking care of my body and stretching and this and that. I'm doing a lot of road work. So now that I'm back, I feel really good. So I'm excited. And when you you can't get tired because you're in that good of shape, then it gives you a good sense of confidence to really go out there and do what you want to do.
Good to hear, man. We're going to be pulling for you. Your fight is going to be for Bellator. You're going to go up against Joe Pacheco. I believe it's going to be a middleweight bout, right? Or has anything changed?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's a middleweight bout. Yeah,
excellent middleweight bout.
It's in my hometown, Pechanga. I've fought over there. This will be my 5th time fighting there, so I'm used to it. I know what's going to happen. I can pretty much visualize the whole thing. So I feel good. I feel really good about it.
Is the spoiler that you're going to win the fight?
Yeah, that's well, the spoiler is I'm going to win probably by submission. That's what I think.
Oh, nice.
I think this guy is going to try to take me down. I think that, I'm going to be swinging hands like usual, and I'm going to try to knock him out. Don't get me wrong. If I knock him out, I'll be happy. But my ground's improved, and I have my submission game back, I feel. So, and when I'm in shape, I'll go for a lot of submissions. If I catch him, then I'll put him to sleep. So
nice. So this Pacheco guy, he thinks he's going up against the KO kid, but really you're gonna try to sneak in a sub if possible.
Yeah. Well, he's a wrestler, so of course he's gonna try to take me down. So I'm working a lot of my wrestling and my submissions because I don't want to just defend the shot and then go back. I want to defend the shot and then make him scared of he shouldn't probably try to take me down again because I'm going to do something. I'm going to go for some submissions. Right. So it gives you a little more options, makes you a little more not so one-dimensional.
Excellent. And we do have we already have someone commenting on Twitter. Mr. David Spears, he is saying, knock out that lay and pray pussy. So I guess he's asking you for a favor already.
That guy's awesome. Tell that guy he's awesome. I'll do my best. I will literally go in there. I'm gonna train like a professional fighter. I'm gonna really go in there and put hands on this guy. People in the first minute, if you go out there and you try to knock him out in the first minute, it's gonna change the whole tail of the fight. So that's what I'm looking to do. Trying to put my foot down in the very very first minute and then see how he reacts.
Pressure. You're gonna go for the cage control. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. If someone comes right out of the bat, not afraid at you, that can't be overwhelming.
He's a good wrestler, and I'm not saying my wrestling's gotten the best in the world since my last fight, but it's improved a lot. And if he does take me down, I'm popping right back up. That's something with the wrestlers I know. When you take somebody down, it takes all that time and energy to take somebody down, and then all of a sudden they pop right back up, and then they're in your face, punch you in the face. It's not going to look good. So
yeah, and that's going to go down October 3rd at the Pechanga Resort and Casino in Temecula, California.
Yeah.
Under Bellator, and so I have to ask, you and Bellator parted ways after your last fight. So what exactly? So what happened to get you back fighting under the Bellator promotion?
I think it was something they were doing with Scott. I'm not sure. It kind of threw me for a loop. I was under a promotional contract, so I kind of thought I was going to be at least given another fight, but it happens, and Zach called me and just told me to stay ready, and I did, and now I'm back with them. I'm back with Bellator, so I'm happy.
Yeah, they've kind of revamped too under Scott Coker taking over for Bjorn Rebney. Have you had a chance to meet Scott Coker have you ever met him before? I know you fought for other organizations prior to Strike Force, King of the Cage.
I fought with Strike Force, and he was the head over with Strike Force, and he was cool then. I didn't talk to him too much, just the normal hi, how's it going, and how's your weight? On weight, cool. So he's a nice guy, and people are saying a lot of good things about what he's going to do with Bellator in the upcoming seasons and stuff, and I'm excited. It sounds good to me. So
yeah, he's definitely he's doing a little cleanup around that place. Changing a few things here and there, but looks like so far it's working out for you. You're back on there. I mean, did you even have to think about saying yes to this fight, or?
I have a good relationship with Zach Light. He's the Bellator matchmaker. So he kind of just told me to stay ready for November. So I was kind of thinking November. And then the guy that they wanted me to fight in November got hurt. And they said, look, there's a fight October. And, it'd be your hometown. It'd be maybe a little bit more for you. And I said, okay. So that's what I went with. But the November card should be good too. Bellator has some good cards coming up, and the card I'm on right now is I think it's Bellator 127. It's pretty stacked. There's a lot of good fights and a lot of good local guys, a lot of people I know, a lot of cool guys. So it's gonna be a fun card.
Yeah, I got to know what you thought about the speaking of Bellator in the November card. What did you think about the pro wrestling confrontation that went down between Stephan Bonner and Tito Ortiz with the Master Man?
I thought it was pretty comical, to be honest. Justin McCauley, I've known him for years.
Oh, really? The Masked Man,
guy, cool guy. Yeah, and when the whole mask, I didn't know who it was at first because I didn't know. I was just watching it like anybody else. And they took off the mask, and it was Justin. I was kind of shocked because he's kind of a non-drama type of go-with-the-flow type of just nice guy, just trains hard. And so it was kind of funny, and you could tell it was staged. Stephan, it seems like he was picking his words very wisely, and they seem like he's said those things before. So it looked real WWE, and it is what it is. This is an entertainment business. It's Bellator, and there's two organizations, UFC and Bellator right now, and they have a World Series of Fight. I mean, there's a couple top organizations, and Bellator's trying to do what they have to try to be neck and neck with UFC. So that's kind of, I think, what their ploy is they're going for. But I thought it was entertaining. It was funny, and it seemed like Tito wasn't in on the joke because his reaction seemed actually legitimate to me. It looked like he kind of just like, oh, what the hell's going on, and he kind of just freaked out. So, I mean, it's just the entertainment business, man. It's Bellator. We'll see. It's a good fight. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I had laughed my ass off. It was really bizarre, but I mean, like, the whole time you're watching, you're like, all right, there's going to be a shove. And, like, everyone knew it, man. Like, it was a shove incoming. Like, it was written all over it. Let's say Scott Coker asks you to get in Pacheco's face and, maybe get one of your homies to come out. Maybe Coach Jamie comes out with a mask on. Would you agree to something like that, or is that not your style?
I don't know if I could do that, man. It's just I'm not the one for those type of words, the WWE or WWE altercation types. I don't know, but yeah. So
what if
he actually asked me to do something like that? I'd think about it, and yeah.
No, I hear you, man. Like, what if it was too good to pass up, though? You got to tell us, like, let's say it was War Machine, all right? Word on the street is that you had a beef with War Machine. But back in the day, before he went all fugitive and got arrested and the whole Christy Mack ordeal. Now he's probably going to do life in prison, so you could probably openly talk about it now. What was the deal with the War Machine beef for anybody that just doesn't know anything about this backstory?
I've known him for years, I just kind of he's from San Diego. I'm from like Orange County area, so we crossed paths a couple times. It seems like some girls that I dated, he dated after. So, and
are they okay?
Are they okay?
Yeah, I mean, are they all still alive? Okay.
Yeah, they're all still alive. So, but yeah, it was just immature things when we were younger, and he said some things, I said some things, I was just like, he's an easy guy not to like, too. It's like I didn't like him, plus he's the things that he says and the things that he does, I just was like, fucking, this guy's a dirtbag. So I didn't like him for a bit, and then I saw him in Extreme Couture earlier this year, and we kind of squashed it. We trained hard and went with each other, and after that, he's just like apologized to me on Twitter, and then after that, we were cool. So then I heard about the whole thing with Christy Mack and all this drama, and it doesn't change my opinion on him. I'm still, I'm not going to talk shit on the guy because he did all this and that. I don't know. I wasn't there. There's two sides of every story, and there's the truth. So, it's just a bunch of drama to me. I just heard about it. It sucks that he's in jail for that long, but, obviously he beat the shit out of her. So it looks like it was warranted. That's what happens. He played with fire too many times. He talked about all this stuff that he does and all these things he's going to do. So it was a matter of time before this fucking guy went in for a long time. And I've been saying this. I said this on an interview about a year ago. This Adam Hunter, he's a comedian, and he's friends with War Machine. He asked me about the same thing. So, yeah, he's a cool guy. He said something, and I told him the same thing. I said, look, this guy's going to either dead or in jail for the rest of his life. And he didn't die, but now he's in jail. So
yeah,
kind of takes away all the fun away from it because now he's behind bars, and we don't get to, be entertained by this fucking idiot. But at least he did that one last hurrah, I guess.
Oh God, yeah, he went out with a bang. Boy, did he ever, man.
Right.
Everyone thought it was going to end with him dead, though. So it was a little anticlimactic, but at the same time, this man does belong in jail or in the cage. So you're the exact opposite, right? Are we ever going to hear about you laying some sort of beat down on the run, like driving cars off cliffs with bitches in the trunk? Like that's not you at all, right?
No, that's not my thing. I'm not that type of guy. I think I'm a nice guy most of the time, so I'm definitely not going to be beating any bitches up or anything like that. So I'll be on the front page of TMZ anytime soon with any spit bags over my face. Sorry, but
yep. Well, nobody ever thinks they're going to end up there until they do.
A lot of people kind of like, I don't know. You got a lot of publicity out of all this stuff that he's done this last 2 years, and he had a good little fan following, and he had a good thing going for him with his shirt company. And earlier this year, before all this stuff happened, I was thinking, he's doing pretty good. He used his personality type, all the bad things about him, and he kind of turned it into good by getting all these people behind him and him being this crazy kind of sideshow thing. And then it was going good for him. And then, of course, he kind of fucked it up. So that is what it is.
Yeah, you wish it would have ended in something positive. I mean, the guy was coaching little kids up until the week this thing happened, man. It's a damn shame to see.
Yeah, that sucks.
But I guess that fight's never going to happen between the two of you then.
No, because I fight at 185 usually, and if we ended up agreeing on a fight or something happened, I mean, I would be so motivated to cut to 170 just for that guy, and it would be awesome. It's all about motivation with me, and I would be so motivated just to kick that guy's ass, and it would be fun. So, but now he is where he is.
Yep. So. Is 185 pounds, is that the lowest you've ever fought at? Or have you done welterweight before?
No, I've never done welterweight. See, that's if I was going to get a big opportunity like something like that, I would, because I love to eat. I hate dieting, so I could make 170 if I literally dieted. Probably for like 6 weeks I'd get down, but other than that, it's going to be pretty difficult.
Yeah. So October 3rd, you're fighting Joe Pacheco for Bellator. Are you looking at a serious weight cut for this fight, or are you pretty much on track right now?
I'm okay. My weight is kind of comes and goes. I'm like, the end of a workout today, I was about 205, and I was probably 210 before the workout. So I'm like, I'm 25 pounds over, but I'm like 3 weeks out. So in the next 10 days, I'll start losing all that. I'll be down to like maybe 200. Trying to only cut like 10 to 15 the most. Not bad. I got to stop drinking soda, and I eat bad here and there. I'll get down in weight to a certain point, and then I just kind of like, oh, okay, I could eat bad, but I'm going to kind of try to keep it up on this fight and really keep clean, and it's going to help with the training and everything too. So
it's pretty rare that a fighter admits to drinking soda, I guess. What's the last worst thing you ate? Like, whoa, if you could remember, what was the cheat meal, the last one that you had that was just terrible?
Oh, I can remember, my friend.
Was it earlier today?
All. No, it wasn't earlier today. It was, what was it on? I think it was on Sunday. It wasn't that bad. I guess, I had In-N-Out, so I had animal style fries, 4x4, and a Coke. So that was probably the worst thing I've eaten in the last week.
Not bad at all.
Yeah, I'm taking notes.
What was that,
taking
Coach?
Notes, so
okay.
I said I'm taking notes.
A 4x4 is serious.
First I've heard of this.
First off.
Yeah. I know he's got a all-you-can-eat sushi buffet
Season
issue
pass.
that we need to address. But the soda and the In-N-Out, yeah, we're gonna have a talk tomorrow.
Yep.
4x4 is serious business.
Yeah.
The sushi though, sushi buffet is probably the best buffet you could get into though. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
It's better than any other buffet.
Yeah, well, with me, when I diet, it's either all or nothing. So I'm either really strict or I'm really not. So,
well, the sushi buffet that Keith, actually, the first time he took me out to, I ended up getting sick and I puked all night. So,
oh my
I guess
God.
if he goes back there, if we go back there, at least he'll have no problem
you'll
making
cut that weight.
But,
you'll cut the food and the water right out.
That was the worst, man. I was
so bad.
I was a
I know, I
sick
remember
dog.
that.
Well, what'd you have that was different? If he didn't get sick, like, have you nailed? Do you know what made you sick? Like, which piece? Like,
I think didn't you get sick too, Keith?
I think I did get a little sick too. I think it was
you got sick like the day
Vegas
after.
It was imported a little bit. Yeah, it was the day after. It was the next morning. I kind of felt like crap. It wasn't too
that
bad.
night I was
raw fish.
Yeah,
I was a sick dog that night.
It's always a risk, but it's so damn delicious, man.
Right?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, I just hope if I load enough wasabi on there, it'll pretty much kill anything. But
it should. I think that's what it's
works.
for. Yep.
Right.
Oh man, we'll have to. Yeah, we'll get past this interview real quick now because I am hungry now. It happens, man. Actually, we'll throw to Jake here from the MMA podcast. I believe he wants to pipe up a little bit here. You're on with Keith Berry and Coach Jamie Huey. Jake.
Yeah. I guess this goes to both of y'all. I know a few months ago, both of you guys were at the Tough 20 tryouts, and just last week we saw the first episode of Tough 20. A champion will be crowned. Honestly, from the first episode to me, it looks like this is going to be one of the best seasons of Tough we've ever had. I'll throw to I guess Keith first, and then Jamie. What do you think about this season of Tough? And if you had to choose one girl to win it all, who is it?
Go ahead, Keith. I'll let you take the first one here.
Oh, you want me to say first? Who I think?
Yeah. Have at it.
All right, WMMA. Okay, let me think about this. Well,
yeah,
did you even watch the premiere?
Tell us about the tryouts, all that good shit.
Oh, okay, yeah, the tryouts. Well, the tryouts, there was only I want to say 30-something girls, 32 girls. So, the girls that did come, I remember, Dana was telling everybody that, it's going to be a lot bigger next season and stuff. But there were only 32 girls, and all the girls that were there were pretty professional and looking good. One of the girls, who do I think is going to win, was the second question.
Yeah.
Just overall, or who were you there back in, or why were you at the tryout?
Who's standing out? Whatever the fuck you want to tell us.
I was roommates with Heather Clark, so that's why I was over at the tryouts, and I was with another. I don't forget who else I was with, but I just kind of snuck in. I saw some of the old guys that used to be with Strike Force that I used to fight for and work for over there, so they kind of just let me in. I was just checking it out. It was a good experience. It was cool just to see everyone try out and all that stuff. But I think that the girl that I like on there a lot is Beck Hyatt. I think that she's going to do really well. I don't know who's going to be crowned. I haven't watched it enough. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I know who's going to win or anything. I literally haven't watched the first episode. But I do like that girl, Beck Hyatt. She's real entertaining. Carla Esparza, she's also really good. I know I watched Beck Hyatt fight in Invicta like about a year ago. She has a really good stage presence and like real entertaining and stuff, so that's always fun. But yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
Coach Huey, I don't know if you've seen the first episode, but you actually did have a few seconds of airtime on it. What did you think about the tryouts? What do you think about this upcoming season? All that good stuff.
I only saw bits and pieces of it. I got a bunch of tweets, but I didn't actually see. The reason I was there was we have a girl in our gym named Chelsea Bailey. She actually fights at 105 pounds, but she was going to go up to 115. She's I believe a two-time national wrestling champion, and she did very well at the tryouts. There's two girls that somebody probably that follows women's MMA would know, but there's two girls. They're twins. I guess they got a pretty good sized following. They've done some things as far as pro WMMA. Chelsea was actually picked to roll with one of them.
You mean the Liebarger twins?
There you go. Exactly. Now, I don't know which one of those twins that she was asked to roll with. The tryout basically consisted of rolling, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, and then there was some mitt work. But Chelsea pulled one of the Lieberg twins, and no disrespect to her, but Chelsea just pushed this girl around the floor. Like, I mean, you could have threw like some rug cleaner down, and by the time she was done, that it would have been spotless. I mean, she's a bad chick, man. This girl, I mean, at 115, she would have did very well in the competition. But at 105 pounds, her real weight, she ends up signing on Invicta or one of those other promotions. She's going to be a problem for anybody in any weight division in any organization. So anyway, I was there with her. She didn't make it onto the show, but it wasn't because of her talent. It was really because of her experience. She's 2-0 right now, and she's actually Misha Tate's roommate. So the three of us were there together, and kind of the benefit of, and I'm kind of getting off subject here talking about Chelsea because I'm excited about her, but the benefit of obviously her situation is she's got Misha Tate looking out for her, so she's going to do very well. She didn't make the show, but she's going to do very well in her career. Excited about her. So anyway, that was the reason I was there. If I had to pick one person, I would definitely, I believe Jessica Panay is going to end up winning the show. That's just strictly a guess, but she has been a champion at 105 pounds at Invicta. And one thing I know about the show is the season goes along, the weight cuts affect the fighters as the season goes. You know what I mean? So her fighting at atom weight, 105 pounds, 115 pound weight cut when you have to fight 3, possibly 4 times during the course of the season. I really think that benefits the fighter. So if I was going to go, that would be my pick.
Awesome. And I am keeping track of time here on the Word on the Street podcast. We let's quit taking up any more of Keith Berry's time. This guy's got to train for a fight coming up. Keith, it's going down October the 3rd on Bellator, live on Spike, in Temecula, California. You versus Joe Pacheco, middleweight fight. You've already all but guaranteed your victory. I just gotta ask, man. You know, are you? It's been a while since your last fight, sort of. Well, a couple months, but are you nervous? Are you afraid? Are you excited about it? How do you feel about it? Like 2 weeks out, like it's different. It's got to be different from like the moment right before you walk out, right? I mean, honestly, if you know, what I want to avoid is the usual answer that's like, no, I'm ready for this. Yeah, it's like, are you nervous or scared? Like, what's it really like, man? That's what I'm trying to, because I'll never fight in my entire
Yeah.
life. What's it like, dude?
The first thing that's, always, real frightening for me my whole career is getting tired. And I've known that for a while. And because when you get tired in there, you're screwed. And if you haven't trained enough and you haven't put in the work, then it's not going to be good. And some people can pull off victories and this and that and off their skill sets and shit. Man, I just need to work hard, and that's what I've been doing lately. And the more cardio I do, the more I train with these guys over at Extreme Couture, they've helped me out so much, the better I feel. And today I had a real good sparring session, and it kind of just put the stamp on it for today and just gave me a lot of confidence to go in the next couple of weeks and just train really hard and do everything I can, give myself the best possibility to win this fight, which is, staying on all my technical stuff, doing all my cardio, working with Jamie, and, keep working on Extreme Couture. So I'm not too scared for this fight. I'm more excited. There's always the jitters the night before. It's just anxiousness because we go up, we weigh in, we got to stare at each other. It's not very comfortable. You're going to, or at least for me, some of the Jits guys are wrestlers. They have a different mentality. When I have a mentality of fighting, I started fighting when I was younger, and I started fighting in the street. So it doesn't sound very nice, and it's not all pretty, but it's just what it is. It's just where I came from. So I don't look at it like that, and I'm looking at it like I'm really gonna try to hurt this guy. So, those anxious, awkward moments before weigh-ins and all the weight cutting and all that stuff, but once the cage shuts, I feel good, especially when I'm in shape and my cardio's on, which it's gonna be. I think I'm gonna feel real good. But you're always gonna be a little anxious, a little nervous. It's MMA, anything could happen, and it's the way it is. But you train hard and you go in there and you just try to handle business the best way you can.
I'm feeling good about this one for you, man. We're gonna be watching. I'm gonna be live tweeting the fight play by play. We're gonna be feeding you our energy. Hopefully, you're gonna be able to feel that, man. We're gonna be giving you the winning energy. We're sending it your way. Keith Berry, Bellator, October 3rd, man. Where can people find you, contact you, harass you, and bother you before we let you go?
Well, I'm on Twitter. It's at KOKid951, and I'm on Facebook and all that stuff. You just look up my name if anyone wants to find me or any questions or anything. And then big thanks to Jamie for getting me on here and you guys for having me on. I really appreciate it. And Extreme Couture, Garden of Life, great sponsor I have. It keeps me, well, now I'm going to be eating that 24/7 because this stuff's awesome. And Mentum Eyewear, that'll be it. Thank you guys.
Excellent. Thank you, Keith, for coming on. Hopefully we'll have you again after your win here, man. But take it easy, and good luck to you, man. Nothing but the best.
Sounds good, you guys. Thank you so much again.
Thank you. Have a good one, man.
Bye.
There he goes. The KO Kid, Keith Berry, Bellator fighter. Thank you, Coach Jamie Huey, for getting him back on here, man. What'd you think about the I'm just switching gears immediately. The Mayweather fight, man. Did you see that this Saturday?
I did. I thought it was, I thought Floyd won by 4 rounds probably. I wasn't surprised. One thing Floyd's gifted at is making the adjustments. So kind of what he did with it's what he does. He goes out there, he figures his guys out, and it wasn't the greatest fight, but it wasn't the worst fight. It was kind of the outcome that I expected. I think the first fight kind of took some of the luster out of the second fight. There were times where in the first fight, there was moments where Floyd looked vulnerable, but Maidana wasn't able to close the show, especially in the last 3 rounds, I believe. And it was kind of similar in here, in their last fight. So, I don't know, man. It's funny because as soon as either of them, anytime they need an opportunity to get the people to start paying attention, they start talking about the Pacquiao Mayweather fight, and Chris Algieri is fighting Pacquiao, and a guy named Tim Lane that works at Couture, he's training Chris Algieri, and a lot of people saying that Chris doesn't really have shouldn't have got the fight, but he is undefeated. So kind of what they're doing, and no fault of Chris, because, Chris, like I said, you can never sleep on an undefeated guy, because you don't know what it's going to take to beat him, because nobody's done it. But as soon as Pacquiao's whole thing, building up this fight with Algieri, he keeps talking about Mayweather. He's not talking about Algieri. And Floyd comes off of this fight with Maidana, and the first thing he starts talking about is Pacquiao, and then automatically on, I don't know, Sunday or Monday, he starts talking about, I'll fight Pacquiao, but he's got to sign with Mayweather
Right.
Productions or whatever.
These
You know what I mean?
guys.
It's just like this game that these guys play, and I don't know, man. I can't help but think that the public's kind of getting sick of it. If this fight's ever going to happen or it isn't. I mean, at this point, I don't know. I don't personally. I think Floyd would put a clinic on Pacquiao. That's just my personal opinion, and I'm not basing that on I'm a big Mayweather fan or I'm a big Pacquiao hater, because that's not the truth. I actually really like Pacquiao and I like Floyd, but there's some things that Floyd does sometimes that's irritating. But looking at it from a mathematical standpoint, I mean, 1 + 1 = 2. I don't see Pacquiao beating Mayweather. But why haven't they fought yet? And how come every time they come off one of these lackluster performances, or they're trying to market another fight, they start talking about each other again? It's irritating is really what it is.
Yep. It's just nobody wants to. If they never fight each other, the argument over who was the greatest goes on, even though Floyd's kind of winning. I mean, Pacquiao, Jesus, I thought he was dead that December 8th. I remember because it was my damn birthday when he was destroyed, knocked flat on his face, planked. But yeah, man, Coach, the problem with Floyd Mayweather is, like, how many times is he going to do it to us? I mean, this pay-per-view, this last one was $75 to watch that. Like, I don't know how much longer he can pull that off, man.
I paid $5 and I walked into a Buffalo Wild Wings, and that's where I watched the fight.
Yeah,
I'm not paying $75 to. I see fights every day. I'm in the gym all the time. I go to fights. I'm just not going to do it. My amateur boxing coach, the former president of UFC Boxing, Bill Mertz. I remember when I was a young amateur in the gym one time. I don't even remember the fight. It might have been De La Hoya Trinidad, or it was something big. And I remember walking into the gym, and I'm excited about the fight that weekend. And I remember asking my coach, Bill, I said, oh man, you're gonna watch this fight Saturday? And he kind of looked at me and goes, man, I'm not paying $50 to watch that. And I go, why not? He goes, are you kidding me? He goes, I see fights every day. You think I want to reach into my wallet and pay $50 to see some guy throw punches? And it kind of threw me off back then, because I figured that my coach was the biggest boxing fan that I knew, because he's completely, in the center of it all the time. Now I'm, 40 and I've been coaching for 15 years. I get it. I absolutely get it. I'm not reaching in my wallet, and I'm not paying $50, and I'm definitely not paying $75. I go to Buffalo Wild Wings, I have some wings and I have a beer, and I pay $5 and I hang out and I watch it, or I go to a friend's house. Yeah, I'll do it. But $75, $50, $40, it's incredible to me. But there's people that are going to do it, and I guess if the market will support it, then there's an audience for it.
Yep, and they'll give you for $75 you get to watch the pitter patter battle, the boxing match, and whatever the hell that pan flute intro was. I don't know if anybody can top that. An actual pan flute solo along with the national anthem. There was a rumor that Mayweather is going to have like a Justin Bieber actually do the U.S. national anthem. Thank God that tragedy didn't happen. Jake, do you have something for the coach here? We can see what each other's typing in the chat. I don't know if the moment has passed or not, or what the deal is, but we haven't heard from you. I'm
Yeah.
also just making sure you're still alive.
Yeah. I wanted to follow up, Coach. A couple days ago, you tweeted and you said you had some Hugh news. I was wondering what that
How
was.
I spelled it. Did I actually say you?
Hugh news.
I didn't
Hugh
even read my own
news.
tweet.
Better come through with that Hugh news, man.
You know what? I was actually told to keep that on the under. So I'm not, unfortunately, I can't break that as of right now. But I promise it'll be coming out. This will be the first.
The Hugh news.
It was a typo, people.
Well, what's going on? What are you up to lately, Coach Huey? You're prospecting, you're digging for gold, you're training people. What's going on lately?
Man, I was up in Portland for 2 weeks. I had some business up there. I had a sponsor that I actually plugged in. A guy named Chris from OnG, One Name Global, kind of introducing him into the UFC. He sponsored Adrian Rosenbusch this last weekend for the UFC in Brazil. So I'm kind of bringing some sponsors in. And I was up anyway. So I was up in Portland for 2 weeks. Been on the road for the last couple of days, driving back down to Las Vegas. I'm about 3 hours from Vegas now. Like I said, staying in this little mining town. And then tomorrow, back at it. Keith's got his fight October 3rd, so we're getting ready for that. That's really kind of where the emphasis is right now is on Keith and getting him ready. I've got some other fighters I'm working with down at Couture. I'm 2 weeks out of the gym, so I'm kind of excited to get back. I kind of miss all my guys down there. Big Coach Clayton Hires and his family just moved down to Las Vegas 2 weeks ago. Yeah, packed up the vehicles, loaded up the U-Haul, sold the house, and they're fresh transplants down in Las Vegas. So, it's awesome news, man. Clayton's, probably my closest friend. So having him down there with me is, I think good for both of us. So we've got some big plans. He's already doing some big things down there. So
we gotta get him on soon. That's a big deal. Like, he just fully committed, just moved down there. Is he working with like someone specific, or is it just he was sick of Portland?
You know what? He's obviously. He's Chael's head coach. He's still working with Uriah. I don't want to take too much of this, and obviously, you're right. We do need to get Clayton on.
Yeah.
Clayton's kind of a. He's the most charisma. He's got the most charisma of any guy in the room when he comes in, but he's a little shy, I think, when it comes to doing like some of the radio stuff. I've tried to get him on before, but you know what? I'm going to twist his arm this time.
We'll trick him, dude. We won't even tell him he's on the air. We'll just pretend like it's just a call or something.
Yeah, exactly. I got a guy that wants to meet me on the phone. We won't even tell him it's on the podcast.
Yeah,
because once he gets talking, man, so a lot of what people don't know about Clayton Hires is, this guy had a hell of a career, both as an amateur as a professional boxer. He was all-Army champion. He fought 5 world champions. Clayton's got a win over Floyd Mayweather Sr. as a professional.
Hell yeah.
I think Floyd Sr. lost to maybe 3 guys, Sugar Ray Leonard and Clayton, and he might have had 1 or 2 more other losses. But, Clayton's a man. Having him down in Las Vegas, is going to be, I think it's big for him, and it's big for anybody that's training for him. I mean, if I could just brag about Clayton real quick, you know, when Clayton started working with Chael had, before he had worked with Chael had fought in the UFC. I think he had 3 fights.
Mm-hmm.
He ended up getting cut. He went to the WEC. He lost the first title fight to Paulo Filho. And then that's when him and Clayton really started working together.
Yeah.
Chael went back, beat Paulo Filho.
Dusted him.
Went back into the UFC, and then obviously the rest is history. So he started working with Uriah Hall, and there was a little bit of a gap. And Uriah, you know, he's killing everybody on the show. And Clayton has a very special type of a connection with Uriah. He was killing everybody on the show, with the exception of Kelvin, but wasn't really working with Clayton for that fight. And now you're starting to see Uriah go back to what everybody knows he's capable of doing. And Uriah basically lives at Clayton's house for the last 3, 4, 5 weeks of his training camp before he goes into the fight, because Clayton is a mental coach, both for what he's done for Chael and what he's also doing for Uriah. You know, I mean, this guy should be coach of the year as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
You know, Clayton's kind of a quiet guy. He does his thing. But I think it's unfortunate that more people don't know how good this guy really is. And I think him being transplanted down to Las Vegas, the fight capital of the world, it's going to open up a lot of doors for both Clayton and it's really going to benefit a lot of fighters they're down in Las Vegas training. So I'm excited to have him down there, man.
Yeah, man.
He's
a journeyman, definitely, and that story will be written someday. Even if I have to write the damn movie about his life, the journeyman, I'll do it, man. Definitely epic. I mean, the Floyd Mayweather thing alone. I mean, I'd love to see that tape.
You know, here's a kind of a cool experience that I had with Clayton, and like I said, there's a lot of them. Me and Clayton have been friends for more than 15 years. We went into Top Rank Gym when we were doing the first Ultimate Fighter down here, and ran into Freddie Roach, and Pacquiao was fighting somebody that weekend. Well, kind of a funny story was the night that Floyd. Okay, first of all, let me backtrack. Floyd Mayweather Sr., Freddie Roach aren't friends. Anybody that's seen the HBO 24/7 will kind of know that, you know, Floyd will call him Coach Roach, and you know, I mean, they generally do not like each other. Okay, Clayton fought Floyd Sr. and beat him. On the undercard of that, Freddie Roach fought somebody else.
That's right.
So when we went to the Top Rank Gym, Clayton saw Freddie and Freddie saw Clayton. They came up and they started, "Hey man, how you doing? You know, hey, remember, you know," so they start talking about the fight. Well, Freddie Roach has a ex-girlfriend who's his administrative assistant.
Oh,
she was there. She doesn't like Floyd. Freddie tells her that this is the guy that beat Floyd, and she just was ecstatic to meet him. So I mean, it's just a funny story, man. I mean, this is one of those stories that I'm telling it, but I could never give it as much justice as Clayton.
No, I hear you, man.
We got to get him on the show.
We'll do it, man. We have to. Someone out there, if you're on Twitter, just tweet Coach Clayton Hires at MMA Stand Up Coach. Let him know he's coming on the show. Just let him know it's already happening. That's it. He's just gonna do it. We're gonna make him do it, man.
And Clayton is one of the nicest guys too. I met him the first time I met him was last November at UFC 167. Met him pretty briefly, but you know, he was super nice, super outgoing. And then this past July, I saw him again in Vegas, and I sort of figured he wouldn't remember who I was, so I sort of gave him a smirk and a smile, and he stopped me like, "Hey, what is going on, man?" And all of this just Definitely one of the nicest people in the sport. You heard it from us on the Word on the Street podcast.
I believe it, man. I definitely do. Coach, yeah, where? Oh, wow, I'm the timekeeper here. I'm keeping track here. Okay, we should probably wrap this up with the coach. Is what I'm saying inside to myself and out loud. Coach, man, can't thank you enough again for. And the video is gonna come out for reffing, judging the fight that went down between our frequent callers and guests on this show, Yeah, the Truth versus the Eagle, Mr. Allen.
Alan apparently mailed it to me before he's Alan's in Japan now for UFC Tokyo, but Alan said he mailed me the flash drive with the fight on it for me to upload before he left for Japan. I haven't gotten it yet. I haven't gotten it yet.
Yeah, this mystery video is never gonna surface, is what I'm gathering right now at this point. But no, man, can't thank you enough for doing that for the boys here. So, Coach, what do you think? What do you think the future holds for you, man? Obviously, the year's already coming to a close. Did you? I mean, when we first started talking, your situation was entirely different from where you're at now, man. Are you just going through this life, just like from gig to gig, just seeing where it takes you? I mean, like, are you like wandering the earth like kung fu, or you know what? I want to get into the mindset of where you're at right now. Like, is there an ultimate master plan, or are you just going round by round these days like Rambo, dude?
Man, I'm just enjoying everything. I'm in a good place. I've kind of freed myself of some negative people. It's one of those things, man. When people see you doing good, if they're not a part of it, I don't know why they do what they do, but I'm in a good place, man. I'm living living in Las Vegas. The guys at Couture, Eric and Dennis and Robert and Huey and all the guys down there, man, are just awesome. Ryan, congrats to Ryan Couture. I'm part of a great team. I feel good down there. I've got some other things in the works that I'm kind of waiting before I break them. But man, I'm just, like I said, I'm in a good place. I have nothing to complain about. So as far as kind of floating around, figuring out what I'm doing, pretty much, man. Just kind of taking it one day at a time and see where it goes.
Positive. Yeah, that's pretty much what I was getting at. I just wanted to make sure that you're okay because we all care about you, man. And it sounds like you are. It sounds like you are happy. You're out there living the dream, doing something you actually enjoy, while the rest of us stiffs have to sit around in offices or, some of us don't even work, and we're just waiting to get arrested for not paying some bill or another. That's the life, man. Yeah,
your taxes, guys.
I know. That's that's a story for another podcast, people. But yeah, always pay. You're not gonna win that argument because even if you win the argument, they still have the gun.
The IRS thought I died in '08.
Maybe. Well, a lot of people actually did. That was the year of the Great Recession. I remember it well. I made it through, though. But anyway, I digress. Coach Huey, Jamie Huey, where can people find you and contact you and, worship you if they choose to? What's happening?
Twitter, at Coach Jamie Huey. And then I'm in Las Vegas. I'm at Couture. So, in between heading down there and drinking too much alcohol and gambling all your money away, I'm available for seminars, for private training, drop into a class down at Couture. I'm there Tuesday through Friday. So that's pretty much it, man. I'm not hard to find these days. I'm around.
Excellent. Coach, we'll catch up with you next week. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen, people? This life is crazy. But, Coach, I thank you for coming on. Thanks for bringing Keith back on the show. Good to hear from him again. And good to hear from you again. Stay safe out there. Don't get robbed. Find that gold. Maybe a wife or something that you can just have in that prospecting town. You go to it every now and then, like a Twilight Zone episode or something. Like stepping. All right, enough with the time travel. You guys could probably already tell what time it is in my book. You know what I'm saying? Coach Huey, thank you for coming on the show. I'll talk to you in a little bit here. But
all right,
yeah,
guys.
Man, have a good night.
All right, take
Thanks,
care.
Coach.
Later. There he goes, Coach Jamie, the living legend Huey, Team Son and Coach. The Ultimate Fighter show. He's been on 2 seasons of it. Actually 3 if you count his cameo on Tough 20 the other night.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Jake, open mic up. Let's get to some MMA topics before we just
Wait.
put this in the bag here. What's happening?
Before we break down MMA, I do want to keep it going. We did it on the last word. We should take a prayer break.
Oh, yes, we should take a moment to reach out to the Lord our God and Savior. We should have a prayer. Jake, maybe perhaps you'd like to lead this week's prayer.
I almost gave up. I almost gave up.
Praise the Lord.
I was right at the edge of the break.
God bless us.
Couldn't see.
He invented MMA.
Jesus Christ invented the go-go plata.
Every MMA move and violent act is God's work.
Hell yeah.
If you think about it and if you believe in this nonsense. No offense to anybody that believes in
Word
this
on the
nonsense.
street.
But yeah, every now and then we like to pray. If you tune into the MMA podcast, you'll hear actual Satan worship go down sometimes. That was interesting.
Hail Satan.
Yes, Beelzebub. Sweet Lucifer. Sweet Lucifer. MMA topics. What's been happening since the last time we talked, Jake, man? I don't even know anymore.
I'm thinking, I'm sure that there are a few topics we'll get to, but the one thing that stands out to me, sorry about that, was that Dana White interview that I sent you. What the fuck was that all about? I'm actually pulling it up now. Should I play the part where Dana White brags about his art full of drugs?
Yeah. Where's this interview from? And this is real. It's I don't even know what the context of this interview was, except to have him talk about all this shit he spends his money on.
Apparently, Jet Set Magazine is a magazine for people that are rich as fuck. I assume it's like a private jet magazine or something. I'm not sure. I'm looking it up now. Jet Set Magazine, the affluent lifestyle magazine. So we have this dude in Dana White's office. Man, looks like a fancy boy if I've ever seen one. Wearing a t-shirt and a suit. Super tacky looking, but he's talking to Dana White, and he's asking Dana about all the shit in his office that looks like it costs money. And one particular part, I won't play the whole thing where Dana White talks about, literally, I own everything at my house in Maine, like every gun and car and toy and four-wheelers and boats and like 400 Ferraris and every gun that exists, including a 50 cal and this and that. And then brags about how he's trying to be humble because he flew business class like one time in 7 years or something. Come on, Dana. But Yeah, I'll play the clip where he talks about this one unique piece of
Some
art.
bad news in this office every now and then. It probably helps to set the tone. They don't mess with you, right? We got a that is cool. How do you even describe that?
This is
So they're looking at an AK-47 that looks like it's wrapped in dollar bills in a glass case, and the clip is actually exposed, and you can see the bullets are actually made out of glass, and they're different colors. They're filled with different things, and let's let Dana tell us what is in his little artwork, gun, money thing.
probably the most testosterone-filled office on earth, probably. Yeah, that's a gun that's taped up in dollar bills, and basically what this piece of art represents is literally on the other side on that clip. Those are all real drugs in there. There's cocaine, black tar, heroin, and a bunch of other actual legit drugs that are in the clip over there, and it's basically, it represents what war is really all about, and what happens as a result of war. It's all about money, and then what happens.
What?
I love you, Dana, but what does he know about war? Except he was right. It is always all about money, though. So I'll give him
Drugs,
that.
oil.
Yeah. Well, gain, right? Gain. None of
That's
it's
right.
ever for anything altruistic. There's no such thing, people. It's but he's a rich man. He can buy people if he wants. I can't blame him for all of a sudden flying on a commercial flight is like visiting the poor children in Africa. That's sometime, and I can't blame him for his level of success to where that's what it's like to being him, man. I don't blame him.
What do you think about all of the hate? There is a ton of hate, whether it's coming from GQ, coming from Deadspin. A lot, some of the things I get. It is sort of fucked up when you got fighters in the UFC making 6K, and Dana White's bragging about taking business class and being humble and owning 100 Ferraris. But for the most part, I don't think Dana's a bad person. I think Dana's done a lot for the sport. And if really the only thing you can pin to him is fighter pay, I'm sorry, we live in a capitalistic country where it's on the fighters to create a union, and it's up to them to make sure they get paid. You can't really blame the UFC for getting away with paying them a lot less than they can. And even if Dana White wanted to pay them a fair salary, I'm sure the brothers Fertitta would not be that cool with it. What do you think about all these people just throwing tons of hate at Dana?
Well, first of all, I never understand any of the heat that Dana White gets because he has actually, like, without him, I know I probably wouldn't even be watching MMA or have any legit knowledge of it. It's like it's for that reason alone, I can't ever criticize him because, like, obviously he knows what the fuck he's doing. He took something that was on the verge of bankruptcy and collapse, and it's quickly becoming, well, it is the most exciting sport, but it's becoming mainstream. I just can't. I can't hate the guy. I can't criticize the guy even. Like, I have too much respect for what he's actually done and built, so I don't understand the hatred. It's like anybody that's like trying to bring Dana White down. Like, there are actually people trying to end the man. Like, they want him out of the MMA business altogether. Like, that's how convoluted their thinking is. Never mind that he practically built it. They want him gone. I just don't understand that, man. I'll never understand that. It's sick. It's disgusting to me. I love the man. I believe in his product, man. Changed my life. Dana White changed it. And yeah, he's bragging about guns and Corvettes, private jets, Who knows what this man sees as far as Tang goes? You know what I'm saying? Who knows? Mountains of cocaine, angel dust. What else is rich? Did I already say caviar?
Not sure. I'm pretty high.
Yeah. It is time. You know what? This is one thing that I know that Dana White probably doesn't do. He doesn't light up a bowl at will. He's got kids. He's got a family. But guess what, people? I don't have any of that bullshit. Word on the street.
I'm lighting up 2 Ramses. Let me pack up the bowl. Oh my god.
I'll hold it in.
It really is the Wayne's World of MMA podcast. Here we go.
Smoke break. Way better than the prayer break. It's more real. Marijuana solved more problems than God has for me. I don't know about you guys.
Yep.
I got arthritis. Alright, praying never made my knee hurt less. Smoking the weed did. Who knows? Did God put the weed there?
I wonder if we'll get a
I don't know.
copyright pop for that.
We're talking over it, so hopefully it messes with the sound
computer.
waves. Yeah, the pattern recognition. I don't know, people. I don't know. MMA topics, though. What the hell were we talking about to begin with? See, that's the weed already. The weed's already working.
I know you just tweeted out that shit about DC uppercutting a guy when he was wrestling.
Oh yeah. There's a GIF. I still don't know what.
Me neither.
Yeah, nobody knows. It don't matter. You know what I'm talking about. Animated picture.
Yeah, and if I could just make a comment on it, because Cormier is now with Chael P. Sonnen and BJ Penn retired. DC is my favorite active fighter, and a lot of people are calling him dirty, this and that. What people don't know, what you don't see before that, this guy, this white guy, he's wrestling. Turns out he's a John Jones. He kept trying to gouge DC right in the eye, and the uppercut was a response to the eye gouges. And I'm not even making that shit up.
Oh really? Oh yeah. For anybody that's listening and has no idea what the hell we're talking about, the animated picture shows Daniel Cormier in a wrestling match from back in the day, uppercutting his opponent twice in the face.
And if you want to look it up, I'm actually quoting a Reddit comment here from Piz Dobol. Shout out to Piz Dobol. The quote is, "It's Shamil Gidanov from Dagestan versus Cormier. The quality's
like a fake
shit."
name.
Yeah, the video was quite famous a few years ago because the commentator is completely nuts. He's very pro-Shamil with a funny accent and just doesn't give a shit. There was a tournament in Dagestan where wrestling is extremely popular. Winners can get $50,000 in prize money. By the way, Cormier, in his later interview, agreed that Shamil won that match. But he uppercuts him, actually punches him in the face during a wrestling match because Shamil kept going for the eye gouge.
I don't know, man. You're reading this comment off of Reddit, and I think you might be getting pranked. I think somebody might be pulling a fast one. The person's name is supposedly Shemale Getting Off.
That is actually the guy's name.
Come on,
I
man.
just googled him. It is a real person. Shamil getting off. Shamil. The guy's got tons of videos and articles. This is a real person. He actually has a Twitter that 10 people are following. Never mind. But there are videos. The guy's got a Wikipedia page. It does seem legit.
Well,
He was born on the 4th of July.
I'd uppercut him just for that stupid name alone, so can't fault DC for that, dude. What else happened? There was something big. Oh yeah, do you have anything to say about Nick Diaz apparently being a fan of the drunken driving? Apparently, he's had 2 arrests in the past year. You got anything on that?
Man, it's just dumb. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say I've never done that. I can say I've never done it in the last few years. You know, when I was in college, I was a stupid fuck. But it's just a stupid thing to do, and I'm not gonna get up on a pulpit and say, "Oh, there are other people, and you're putting lives at risk." I don't know how drunk he was. I don't know how fast the dude was going, this and that. All I know is it's just a stupid move, especially when you have a super fight coming up where you're going to make so much fucking money. I hope the fight still goes down. I don't know whether or not, I don't know what's going to happen. But yeah, Nick Diaz arrested in Lodi, California on September 6th on suspicion of DUI, obstructing a police officer, and destruction of evidence, which was him puking in the toilet after they told him not to. Driving with a suspended license. Dude, get an Uber. They're so cheap. I work for fucking Uber. I know how cheap it is. I went to Boulder last weekend and I did like 9 rides. None of them were over $10. Uber is so fucking cheap. It's just like it's stupid, it's immature, and it pisses me off as a fan of MMA because I'm not sure whether or not his fight against Anderson Silva is in jeopardy now.
Yeah, that's good. That's a damn good point. Basically, just where I'm coming from is I just hope that this dude is okay at this point because honestly, I don't know anybody and again, it's his business, but I'm just saying I want the guy to be all right. Hopefully, this isn't some warning sign because I don't know anybody that's been arrested for a DUI twice in the same year that wasn't an alcoholic. If this guy's got a problem, Jesus, like the Anderson Silva fight isn't even the most important thing in his life anymore, man. It's like, dude, you're getting arrested at this point, like for the same shit. Yeah, and he's got money. He can at least afford the Uber. I'll give him that. Holy shit, man. That's all I gotta say. Like, I'm not gonna get into every detail or like try to like get up in his fucking business. I'll just say I hope that Nick Diaz is all right, and if he needs help, I hope he gets it. He does have a big fight coming up, but I think it's gonna go down. That's the thing, man. Even though, but honestly, if it were anybody else, I'd be saying, put him in prison for a while. Second time, teach him a lesson. But it's one of those things, man. He'll get a pass because he's got a big fight coming up against Anderson Silva. Even I would give him the pass based on that. That's just how it works. But yeah, wishing him the best out there, I guess. It's a damn shame, though, man. What else is a damn shame that happened in this sport of ours?
We didn't do a word on the street last week, which means we weren't able to talk about that ridiculous Stephan Bonnar, Tito Ortiz, Bellator, pro wrestling. I don't know what to call it.
Yeah, the pro wrestling angle. They cut promos on each other, one worse than the next. A masked man who actually Keith knows by some weird coincidence. Like, not many people knew who the masked man was even after he was unmasked. It was the damnedest thing ever, actually, because because everyone was like, did he really need to be wearing the mask? Because nobody knew who he was when they pulled it off. But apparently he was Justin McCauley, trained with Tito. It'd be like I said, if Chael was doing a face down and Stephan Bonnar unmasked Coach Jamie Huey in front of Chael's son, it'd be along those lines. But I thought it was absolutely preposterous Of course, obviously 100% scripted, contrived, planned ahead, orchestrated. It was a work. I believe this fight will be a work. That's just how it goes. The Tito's fight versus who was it? Shlemenko. That was a complete work. So was Rampage's last fight. They're working fights in our faces. Now this pro wrestling angle, they thought Bonner would be able to handle it, but it was too over the top. Everybody, all the MMA media outlets reported on it, which is the only positive out of this whole thing for Bellator. But they reported on it because of the fact and pointing out just how bizarre it was. But at the same time, Jake, I kind of liked it. Like, I love that it was so corny and hacky and over the top, and that they actually did it. And it was dumb Stephen Bonner just there making faces in what appeared to be a very cheap suit. I hope they do more shit like this, because if you're gonna work fights, you might as well, like, they did it. They're working the promos. They're going over the top. I like it, man. Hopefully this is all Scott Coker's idea. I hope he thought this shit up himself. But I wouldn't be surprised if Tito or Bonner did, because it was kind of retarded. What do you think, Jake?
I am the last person to call shit a work, say shit scripted. This was so obviously scripted, and it wasn't even good. It was just horrible. It was horrible.
Yeah, where it was like, I'm sure Tito had like lines and stuff, but even he was just like, fuck this, I'm just gonna push him. That's all we were waiting for anyway, the shove, like I was saying. But yeah, it was cringeworthy, man, and it made the UFC just look that much better, that much more slightly legitimate. Maybe Stephen Bonner is there acting on behalf of the UFC. He's there just trying to make these people look stupid over in Bellator. Maybe. You gotta hope that.
He would be doing a good job if that was his fucking motive.
He'd be a damn genius. That should be his out, man. I don't know.
Other shit, people doing ridiculous stuff. This past weekend at UFC Brazil, one of the guys on the card, I guess, man, what the fuck? I can't switch tabs now. This is great. One of these guys, Wendell Oliveira, during Friday's official weigh-ins in Brasilia, Brazil, Oliveira was announced as the Machine, and UFC officials confirmed to MMAfighting.com that he had to change his nickname from War Machine. Wendell Oliveira claiming he is the real War Machine, even though that we know the War Machine that we're more familiar with, John Copenhaver, former UFC fighter who legally changed his name to War Machine. We actually spoke about it in the Keith Berry interview. He's in jail for trying to kill his ex-girlfriend. Why would you be so married to the War Machine moniker after all this shit? What's going on?
I don't know what the fuck, man. But all I have to say is, I did a couple weeks ago when War Machine was on the run. I did come on this very show. Actually, it was on the podcast, wasn't it? I don't remember which one it was. I begged and pleaded with War Machine to kill himself, and I'm sad that he didn't, and that he was taken in kind of without incident. They drugged him and tased him, but at least he didn't get to hurt anybody else, except for the new girlfriend that he was busy assaulting in the parking lot of his hideaway hotel. That's how he got caught, because he was beating the fuck out of another woman. That's the world we live in, people, where that, in the words of Yao the Truth, that happened. It happened. And God bless him. I don't know where he's at. He's missing people. If you've seen Yao the Truth, he lives in Queens. Let us know. I just want to make sure he's all right. Unfortunately, though, another friend of ours in that same area, Ross Finkelstein, Sad to say, he is dead. He has passed away. Short program note there. Moving on. Jake, man, I think we should wrap the show up. It was a good one. We're missing so many topics. I mean, we're just too.
What about
I'm
Tough?
too ripped to even think of anything.
Final topic. We got to talk about Tough. Did you watch the first episode?
I did. I saw when it aired. I missed the first hour, so like I just saw basically the fight.
Why didn't you DVR that shit, cocksucker?
Well, I don't do the DVR thing. I do the DL thing. So I did download it or quote watch it on Fight Pass if it's available there. I'm not sure, but if it was available there, I did that. So I did get to see the whole entire thing. Damn good, but they're not even fucking around. They're not even trying to play. This is almost pure TNA, and then there's a fight at the end.
They aren't even pretending, dude. It's so transparent. So many ass shots. Like, I almost want to go back and count the amount of ass shots we had. Which, look, I'm not gonna argue. As James Brown said, it's a man's world. I'm really enjoying it for many reasons. That being one. There are a lot of really interesting personalities. You have my two favorites, JoJo Calderwood and Rose Namajunas.
Hang on, Jake.
Yo.
If they're doing this to us, so if they're not gonna fuck around, like neither should we. Like before we even try to pretend like we're gonna discuss who the best fighters are, who's got the best TNA, man? Tits and ass, dude. Like let's talk about that first, because let's not fuck around, man. They're not. Like this is what we're here for. This is the most important part of this whole season. Who has the best ass? Who's the hottest bitch?
Man, I gotta say,
you walk
even
into
though
that house, you roll into that Tough 20 house, dude, and they're all up on you. They haven't seen a man in
all of
3
them.
weeks.
All 16.
3 weeks, and they're all drunk. They're all on X, dude. And it's just you walking.
They're all
in.
mollied out of their brains.
Yep, and they're like, we decided that you have to pick one of us, Jake from the MMA podcast.
Well, let me first say that just about all 16, like, these are all really attractive chicks. And by no means me leaving anyone out do I, I mean, all of them have their certain thing. Esparza reminds me of this Mexican chick I tried to hook up with in college and never ended up hooking up with. JoJo Calderwood has the whole, like, cute, soft-spoken Scottish chick thing going. All of them are fucking cuties, but, if I had to choose one, even though she's sort of got a pair of guns, Felice Herrig, dude, giving me the vapors like a hit me baby one more time era Britney Spears. Jesus Christ. Giving me the vapors. Ramses, what about you?
Not a bad choice, man. Damn, it's a tough one, dude.
Plus, Herrig, from day one had the D on the mind. I mean, literally, the first thing she does when they walk in the UFC gym is she, like, straddles a heavy bag that's on the ground and is like, yeah! And then when the van's riding back to the house, says something like, oh, the cactus looks like a penis, which, I don't know, her versus actually Keith Berry was talking about Heather Jo Clark. I believe that is who she's going to be facing in the first round, and they've had a spirited back and forth. Clark saying that she doesn't like Herrig makes no bones about it. She's always, posting up pictures of her ass and this and that because she knows she fucking looks good. And according to Clark, who looks good too, she says she gives the, women's MMA a bad name. Clark is of the mindset that women should treat themselves like ladies and not get too crazy as far as the sex appeal goes. Herrig, one of the first things, which I really loved, one of the first things it shows her saying is, I know this is a business, and I'm my own business, and I gotta make a name for myself, a la Sonnen, you know.
God bless her.
Yeah, and she knows what's going to attract eyeballs, and Ramses, as you say,
Damn right, man.
God bless her.
Yeah, I gotta go. Shit, if I had to pick, I'm liking Angela Maidana. I don't even know how the fuck you pronounce it. 30 years old, nice brunette, pretty eyes. I'm a sucker for that, man. I'd have to go with her. I think, and then but Rose is very cute. We've had her on the show also.
Alex Chambers, her round 1 opponent, I think is the oldest chick in the house, but still a cute little Aussie, man. These strawweights, brother. Which I didn't want to jump in and correct Keith Barry, because his nickname is the KO Kid. Literally, his profession is knocking people out. So when you're talking with someone who is known as the KO Kid, you tend to not just jump in and interrupt them and correct them whenever they say something wrong. He was talking about Beck Hyatt. I think he was talking about Beck Rawlings. Beck Hyatt, another MMA fighter, and it's funny because she also does rock.
About that.
Yeah, Hyatt also rocks the short blonde hair buzz look, and it's confusing as shit because they're both named Beck, but it's actually Beck Rawlings in the house. But Tisha Torres, that first episode, huge upset. I mean, Torres has done an amazing job in Invicta. May have been next in line for a title shot. If not, she was at most a fight away. She beat Felice Herrig. She beat, a ton of other fighters. I think she beat Thug Rose. She beat Paige Van Zant, who also has a little bit of a following. She's not in tough. I think she was too young or something crazy, but she will be fighting in the UFC soon. So that was a big upset. Torres, another one of these cuties, Doug.
Yeah, she's all right too, man. I guess we should actually get around to talking about the fighting. If you had to pick one of these girls to win it all, who do you got?
The favorite is Esparza, definitely, because she was the Invicta strawweight champion. So for the sake of the show, I'm not just gonna go with a straight paper bet. If I had to put money on it, it'd probably be her. Coach Huey's choice of Jessica Penne is also pretty good, even though he's trained with Lisa Ellis. I'm trying to think who else. Honestly, I think Joanne Calderwood could do well, but she has a tough first opponent in Emily Kagan, and she's going to have to face either Thug Rose or the undefeated Aussie in the second round. So she's not going to have an easy road. It's going to be interesting. But we actually will teaser tomorrow night, see Calderwood versus Kagan on Tough, after Tough, the MMA podcast.
That's true. I'm going to go with Coach Huey's pick, man. I got to say, Jessica Penne, she's looking good to me. She actually looks like a friend of mine. It's almost like one of those weird, like scary resemblances. God bless her. But no, I'm going to go with her, man. Her record's 11-2 going into the show. 31 years old. A lot of these girls are, 30, 31.
And actually, Penne, a story came out recently that she gave her old job notice that she was going to be gone for 6 weeks, and she called them and gave them the leave date and come back date, and they said all was good. And then she came home after the show wrapped, and she found out they got fired, or that she got fired. Yeah, and she didn't want to name the gym she got fired from, so to not give them any extra pub. But Man, she said, quote, things come in and out of your life for a reason. Usually there are bigger things on the horizon, so I really don't let it bother me. It was kind of funny. But, yeah, sort of funny story there. Man, you would think as a gym, if one of your people went to go be on a national television fighting show, you might want to take advantage of that and not fire them while they're doing it. Just sounds like a bunch of mismanagement there.
Fucking ridiculous, man. I'd almost understand it if it was like a 9-to-5 desk job or something. She was nurses, doctors, assistant or some bullshit, but a gym won't even understand that you're going to try out for the Ultimate Fighter.
Yep, she was a boxing instructor at a gym in Long Beach.
Oh my God. Well, hopefully she's a nice person, because
it sounds like she's.
Why would they do that to somebody?
It's just stupid.
Doesn't make any sense. Or, of course, maybe it was all made up for the show. You never know these days, people. This is the tough TNA season, and God bless it so far. The first episode was good.
Woof. I almost want to bring up one more topic, but I don't know if we have the time. Do we have the time?
I think we can make a little bit of time here. Go on, man. Let's open it up.
Really sort of funny, Donald Cerrone. He's going to be fighting soon at UFC 178 against UFC newcomer and Bellator lightweight standout Eddie Alvarez. A lot of people think that Eddie can make a charge for the belt and maybe beat a Gil Melendez or a Tony Pettis, depending on who's got the belt. And in a recent interview, Donald Cerrone saying that, I've never seen any fights of Eddie's, and I don't really plan on watching any. The guy taking the backwards approach, saying that he refuses to watch game tape and all of this, which, I get wanting, like Chael always says, never game plan for an opponent, make your opponent game plan for you. Not that word for word, but to that basic effect. I understand thinking that, but not looking at guys' fights. I don't know, man. I know our boy Chris Lowe is listening. He loves him some Donald Cerrone. We got hot takes, but I don't know if I agree. I feels like just ignorant to not look at tape of your opponent.
Well,
Hot take.
I'm going to say, yes, that would be ignorant. It would be ridiculous. It's unbelievable. And I will say, I don't believe it for 1 second, dude. I do not believe for 1 second that at that level, that professional level of fighting, like that's all you know. Number one, that you haven't seen Eddie Alvarez fight. But okay, I'll give you that. But number two, you're going to fight him. And all of his last 10 fights are in HD, like available, and you're not gonna watch it. You're not gonna watch fight tape on somebody that you're fighting. One of the most important, biggest fights of your life. Even and what your cornermen, your trainers, your coaches are just agreeing to this. Give me a damn break. I'm sorry, Jake. I don't believe it. I don't believe him. I don't believe this for 1 fucking second. He's watching that fight tape. He's probably watching it right now.
Hot take.
While he's listening to this fucking show. How do you like that, Chris Lowe out there listening, the biggest Cowboy Cerrone fan? I think Cerrone's a liar. I think he's a fraud. I think he's going to be exposed by Eddie Alvarez. Brown pride. Word on the street.
Hot takes.
That's right, man. Hot takes. Nothing but hot takes. And Chris did respond, just because you ride a horse, bash some poon, and kick some ass doesn't mean you're a scholar. I think we'll end with that.
Let's end it with that, cocksucker.
Let's do it. Let's send it out. Thank you, people, for listening to the Word on the Street podcast. Another exciting episode went down. Tune in next week. We'll have a dinner-type mystery theater episode where you can call in and participate and try to guess who killed Ross Finkelstein. May he rest in peace. He is dead. This is not a joke. He's he died, people. But you know, I hate to bring up a downer at the last minute here, so let's just. He's in a better place. God bless him. Jake, where can people find you before we get the fuck out of here?
Right now, Ross Finkelstein is face down, dead in a ditch. His blood filled with methamphetamines. He's going to test positive whenever the coroner tests him. He's got an asshole full of bum jizz. Follow us on Twitter at the MMA Podcast. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Thank you, people. Word on the street, we're out of here.
Take me through it.
Well, I'm the best corner in the game. When you try me with a sorry receiver like Crabtree, that's the result you gonna get. Don't you ever talk about me.
Who was talking about you?
Crabtree, don't you open your mouth about the best. Or I'm gonna set it for you real quick. LOB.